I should really clarify what we call man-made global warming. That is man responsible for all of this? And we see evidence of this quite a bit in our society and our culture. We're told repeatedly in news accounts and discussions of global warming that there is a scientific consensus that global warming is real. Or also, it's also given a tremendous amount of favorable press coverage. Frequently I hear stories where it's just taken as a given that global warming is real. And if anybody dares doubt that, then there's something wrong with you. You're crazy, or you're insane, or you have a political agenda of some sort. Furthermore, this is being increasingly taught in schools. Young people are being exposed to the ideas that we need to save the planet. They're asking people to do responsible things to prevent that. Well, I'm all for responsible actions, by the way. I've been in recycling since I was very young, 50 years ago.
The question then remains, what is the role of man in the global scheme of things? I mean, we have to go all the way back to Genesis chapter 1 to find out where God places man over the earth and tells him to subdue it. This is a command. But what does it mean? What is man's role in the earth? But this is a time where we cannot afford to be confused over the issue, because the government is trying to pervert God's command and twist it into a reason for global governance.
As important as it is to change the light bulbs, it's more important to change the laws.
We have government policy getting involved in all of this. This is evidenced by people looking for carbon taxes, wanting to do this in the United States, but also other countries have actually adopted different types of carbon tax, either cap and trade, we call it, or a direct tax. I understand this week Australia just passed a new carbon tax that would tax carbon outputs of various types. Also various light bulb bans. We've been told that the old incandescent bulb invented 130 years ago is a terrible thing, and so we're supposed to have all these CF bulbs we're supposed to replace with. And so there have been discussions about getting rid of those type of bulbs so they can't even buy those anymore.
And when we change our behavior in our daily lives, we sometimes leave out the citizenship part and the democracy part. In order to be optimistic about this, we have to become incredibly active as citizens in our democracy. In order to solve the climate crisis, we have to solve the democracy crisis. And we have one.
This is pretty much slipped into our culture. Everybody sort of knows that global warming is a huge problem. And so they're enlisting everybody to be involved. Well, is it real? Does it really happen? Is a big question. As evidence of the culture we have, you can consider Vice President Al Gore. Once he left the vice presidency, he got involved in global warming, sounding the alarm. He began doing shows, PowerPoint presentations.
In 2006, Al Gore released a documentary that is today one of the top-grossing documentaries of all time, An Inconvenient Truth. Later he would be given the Nobel Peace Prize and receive 2 Academy Awards for his film, but some are still asking, is this really an inconvenient truth or merely a tale of an inconvenient lie?
Well, even Coca-Cola's joined in all of this. You know, they've been using the polar bear as a symbol, particularly around Christmas, for more than 80 years. And very lovely little things. People were worried about polar bears. You may have seen the ad a few years ago. They were worried to show this polar bear on a small piece of ice, like a full iceberg floating, and no ice anywhere, no land anywhere for him. Well, recently Coke has announced that they're starting this new campaign. They're going to have white cans, not the familiar red cans, with polar bears on them, and some of the proceeds from the sales of these are somehow going to go save polar bears. I'm not sure how that's supposed to work yet, but that's the big plan. I wonder if I'm the only person struck by the irony of a company whose primary product is laden with carbon dioxide, the thing everybody's worried about. I'm wondering if perhaps Coke is trying to buy a little goodwill before people start saying, well, they're part of the problem and want to shut Coca-Cola down.
2 major things have to be considered and asked about today's message of the global warming crisis. Is the world really warming? And if the world is truly warming and the answer is yes, then we need to know, is man the cause of global warming?